Oh, thank you so much. You're far too kind. Welcome to the big show. This is Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David, and we are extra happy to have you with us today. I have my good friend, my good pal, the Stockmaster. Al, these stocks are crazy this week. How are you doing today?
Like being on a financial trampoline. No, I'm doing fantastic. You know, I always love doing the show. So no matter how depressed I am, otherwise, this is always uplifting.
Hey,
so,
I never knew. You always walk around happy, jolly. You're almost like a good old Saint Nick.
Yeah, well, I like to keep people guessing.
By the way, that is coming up here again. Christmas
it is
coming
coming
up
up,
soon.
yeah.
Do you have any plans?
You know, I'm probably going to downsize a bit this year and just kind of take it easy.
Oh, that's good. That's the way to go. I'll tell you what, when you're young like you are, you have to take it easy once in a while.
You have to plan for the future. I want to
You're
save
right.
myself.
But you know what? It's so great to be back, helping our listeners make better investing decisions. And I kicked the show off with, wow, like you said, it is a roller,
Right.
trampoline of a stock market. Stocks down and currently doing their show roughly right around 5%. We've seen a drop so far in the last couple of weeks here, especially with the S&Ps. Tesla has been showing some sideways action.
Right.
That's a big mover all the time. I mean, big moves up, especially from October. We talk a lot about oil. Oil has been doing something a little bit different. It has been dropping roughly
Right, it has.
since the highs from mid-October, down about 23% on the low anyway. So hopefully we start seeing that at the gas pumps. I mean, gasoline in the futures contract, that's been down a little bit. So we're seeing some markets that are going up. Some are majorly going down. The dollar is one that's been continuing to go up, and that's
Right.
driving a lot of this. I think we talked about this maybe 3 weeks ago. The stock market was at that time going up pretty good. It was seeing some consistent gains, but the dollar was also going up, which usually is an inverse correlation.
Correct. Yeah, right. There's a lot of things like that. Even gold in the stock market.
Yeah.
So we're seeing some different things out
Yeah,
there.
gold's been dropping lately, which is weird because it's doing the same thing as stocks are doing. But the dollar really does drive a lot of this, and I think maybe the stock market is lagging a little bit. So here, as a topic on the YouTube show, is the bull market over? I don't know, but you know what? It's an opportunity either way, up or down. What
Right.
do you see happening? How do you see these opportunities, and how is this affecting our economy?
Yeah, well, you know, the question is the market going to continue going up? Is it going to go down? And the answer is yes.
There you go.
It's going to do both, and it does weekly. I mean, this has been a crazy week where we have seen, you know, not just minor moves, but huge moves up, and then the next day we have a huge move down, and then, you know, and then it just repeats. So we've got a lot of things going on. We've got, you know, that new corona variant that is
Yeah.
still very questionable. We're
Yada,
still
yada,
waiting to
right
see
there.
what's going on there. You know, one day a piece of news will come out that drives the market down. The next day it's, oh, ho hum, that's not such a big deal.
Even the same day, though, especially on Wednesday,
Right.
things were looking pretty darn good, and then just the floor fell out.
Yeah, I think it was about 1,000-point swing there in
Yeah.
the market in that one day.
Really rattling a lot of investors.
Yeah, so it's hard to know how to put a portfolio together that just follows one direction, and that's not what we want our students to do. There are ways of participating in this market where you can be multi-directional. It also is very hard to anticipate what the market's going to do based on what your opinion is, because for the most part, you know, no offense, your opinion is worthless, and mine is worthless.
I thought I had a good opinion. all
Well,
the
maybe
time.
Josh's opinion is worth listening to, but pretty much everybody else, the market doesn't care what we think. It's going to do what it's going to do. But for the majority of the moves in the market, it is based on that relationship between supply and demand. When we see the market, when we have a 1,000-point swing, where maybe the market's up 300-400 points, and then it ends up down 300-400, 500 points, that doesn't mean that the fundamentals of the market and every company that went up and down changed during that time period. It's simply buyers came in, drove the market up, sellers came in, drove the market down.
That's what's nice about the markets is people put too much, you know, noise and clutter in there. The markets, how they function is
Yep.
actually pretty simple. Just real, you know, you mentioned supply and demand, buyers and sellers. Real quick, just explain how the markets actually function. And I know we talk, you know, in
Yeah.
more depth in these investing classes, but just real quick, how does the market actually function?
Well, it functions just exactly that way. It follows that law of supply and demand. When there's more buyers of something, whether it's an individual stock or the market in general, the price is going to go up. When there are more sellers, price is going to go down. So what becomes the key issue then? The important thing is identifying when that's going to happen. Who does that? Somebody has to be putting enough trades in the market to buy when they're buying to move the price up.
It's not you and I, is it?
And it's not you and me. Even if we combined our assets, Josh, we wouldn't be able to move the market. And the same thing happens when the market goes down. There have to be enough sell orders to drive the price down. Fortunately for us, we can identify who that is with an investment strategy we have called Core Strategy.
It's designed to teach you to follow those institutions, really.
Right. Yeah, and the way we were able to put it together is that it was put together by guys that worked on Wall Street, guys that were actually in that position where they were moving the market because they were trading in such large quantities. So they understand what impacts price. And let's keep it simple. What's important to you if you make an investment? If you are buying something, you want the price to go up. If you're selling something, or what we call being on the short side of the market, you want the price to go down. So in order to have the high probability of something working in your favor, you have to have a very accurate way of identifying where those buyers are and where the sellers are. That's what the Core Strategy does. And it really is putting the odds, the probability in your favor of something working in your favor, but not only working in your favor, but doing that in a way where you can participate in the biggest part of the profit, the biggest part of the move of a trend.
You're right. Yeah. And just to double down on what you were talking about earlier, when Al was talking about the multi-directional strategies, I mean, everybody's in a buy and hope strategy, one way, which is up, right? Well, we know, especially this last week, markets don't go up forever. They go up, they go down. So shorting is the concept or the technique in benefiting or profit in a down market. That's the strategy. So basically, it doesn't make any sense, and we dissect this in a whole example in these investing classes that we do here in Bloomington. But if you think the market is going to go down, there's opportunities to benefit there.
Sure.
So say you open a position up at $200 and you close it at $100. There's a $100 profit there. That's and profits in down markets. And I know you talk a lot about that in these investing classes because these techniques and concepts for a lot of our listeners they're not new. They're just a little bit different than what you've been conditioned to do. I was teaching a class actually last night, and we were talking about how people are conditioned to do what the Wall Street wants them to do, their brokers want them to do. Buy and just hope, stay the course. Well, you know what? The course doesn't always go straight. Well, here goes. I have an investing class right here in Bloomington I want to invite you to, and these are classes where we've taught thousands, just like you, are many strategies which are designed to teach you to make better investing decisions. So I want you to call 952 for callers 1 through 10, 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. Or you can just text the word invest to the number 484848. You'll receive a link back with a little preview on what to expect in the video. Also, the link to register for this investing class right here in Bloomington. When you do that, you're also going to receive a financial quick start kit just for getting set up to help you get started right away. Coming up next, we want to continue talking about how the markets work, but how investors and the institutions create income in the markets. These techniques and strategies are also available to us. Coming up next, we'll be right back.